How can you estimate sums? Think about this question during the lesson. Students are collecting cans of dog food to give to an animal shelter. If you round each number in the table to the nearest 100, what numbers do you get? If you round each number in the table to the nearest 100, you get 200, 300, 200, 300, and 300. Estimate the sum of the cans collected in weeks 3 and 4. One way is to round each addend to the nearest 100. 237 plus 345 is about 500. The students collected about 500 cans of dog food in weeks 3 and 4. How could you estimate the sum of the cans collected in weeks 3 and 4? Add 200 and 300. What is a good estimate of the total cans collected in weeks 3 and 4? A good estimate of the total cans collected in weeks 3 and 4 is 500. Now let's look at another way to estimate sums. Another way to estimate is to substitute compatible numbers. Compatible numbers are easy to add. A compatible number for 237 is 250. A compatible number for 345 is 350. 237 plus 345 is about 600. The students collected about 600 cans of dog food in weeks 3 and 4. How does using compatible numbers instead of rounding change the estimate in this example? In rounding to compatible numbers, you rounded to a larger number. In rounding to the nearest 100, you rounded to a smaller number. So, compatible numbers gave an estimate that was 100 more than the rounded answer, but closer to the exact answer.
Today's lesson is on using rounding to estimate sums and differences. Our previous lesson we did some practice on rounding, and now we're going to use rounding as a tool to find sums and differences. So let's say we have this problem, 698,976 plus 265,008. So we're going to use rounding as a strategy to find an estimate. Remember, when we do an estimate, we don't need to know the exact answer. We need to find the closest answer that can be done using rounding. So we're just trying to find an estimate, a guess, if you will, an educated guess. So what we'll do is we're going to round this large number, and usually the best way to do it is round it to the largest number, so that's in the 100,000th place. So 698,000 is closest to 700,000 if we were to round it. Make that a comma. Okay. And then we would do the same for the other number. 265,000 is closest to 300,000. And we know that we're adding, so we want to put that operation symbol there. And as you can see, when you estimate, it's much faster than finding the exact answer. So we're going to go ahead and do our adding. So 0 plus 0 we know is 0. And 7 plus 3 is 10. We start from the right and do every 3. We're going to give a comma, every 3 a comma. And so our answer is 1 million. So our estimated sum for this problem is 1 million. So in our last example, we used estimating or rounding to find the estimate of a sum. Now we're going to use rounding to find the estimate of a difference. So we're going to do subtraction. So let's look at the first number, 881,596. So we do want to look at this highest digit in place value. So it's an 8. We're going to go ahead and round it to the hundred thousandths place. So 881,000 rounded to the hundred thousandths place. 900,000 is the closest 100,000. And then we're going to look at this number in the thousands place, 7. So 724 is closest to 700,000 as we're rounding to the hundred thousandths place. And then we are doing subtraction. One common error that we can make is change the subtraction to addition, and we want to be very careful that we don't do that. So 900,000 minus 700,000, let's bring the zeros down. 9 minus 7 is 2, and every 3 we're going to put a comma. So we can see here that the estimated difference is 200,000. Once again, much faster than finding the exact difference. Great tool that we can use to check our answers when we're finding the exact answers and to see if we are close to where it should be. So in our lesson today, we talked about estimating sums and differences, and the tip that we can take from this lesson is that we want to round the numbers first before we do the adding or subtracting. And we need to be careful how we round. So if we have trouble with rounding, we're going to go back to our previous lesson that reminds us how to round.